So I guess it's 20 and time to start. First of all, I'm Verena and I'm happy to share how Zephyr shaped my journey as a trainee in embedded software development with you. But before I start, I have some questions for you. So who of you is already getting started with Zephyr or did some getting started with Zephyr? Okay, I see some hands. And who of you actually did have a steep learning curve while getting started with Zephyr? I see a lot of hands. So I'm happy to say that I will reflect on my steep learning curve, and I bet that you will also see yourself in some of my slides. So before joining ZEISS, I studied computational science and engineering at Ulm University and Ulm University of Applied Sciences, which is a interdisciplinary study program. It's combining mathematics, programming, and natural sciences within modeling and simulation. So there was no embedded software development at all. But during my master, I focused on the topic of medical technology, which let me end up as a trainee in embedded software development at Carl Zeiss Meditech. And within the ZEISS graduate program, I had the chance to get in contact with 4 different projects and teams. But it wasn't only me joining ZEISS in October 2023. The Zephyr project also became part of ZEISS, or rather vice versa. ZEISS became platinum member of the Zephyr project. So me and Zephyr, I think it's directly a perfect match because we share kind of our company birthday. And in the following, I will share my journey of me and Zephyr becoming best buddies at work. To start off, like a learning curve in whatever topic might look something like that. I mean, at first, you know just a little bit. You do some research and play around, test samples. You involve yourself more and more until you know basically everything. But what I perceived during my first steps, and I guess you also did, was basically that. I read the introduction of the Zephyr Getting Started guide, or the Zephyr project. I performed the Getting Started guide, and when I finally got my first Blinky to run on a board, I felt like, wow, I did it. I understand how it works. I'm an expert at Blinky. And then my team lead, Vitaly, had a nice challenge for me. Well, I made Blinky run on a supported board. But how about running it on the microcontroller used in our product? And that was when I realized I barely know anything. How should I support the microcontroller or even like the board that we use? And I spent actually 2 months in deep waters even dreaming about the Zephyr project structure in my sleep. So here we see getting started is quite easy, but with my special task, there was more work to be done. My first challenge came up when I realized, oh no, my hardware is not supported. And then I started to deep dive into the structure of the Zephyr project, but why are there so many folders? And which are the relevant ones? And after a couple of days, I understood. I need to port my SoC in the SoC folder, create the microcontroller's device tree in the device tree folder. The board can be ported or created in the boards folder, and I might need a driver located in the drivers folder. Sounds simple, isn't it? Well, I thought until I tried to figure out which documents are missing. Which connections do I miss from kconfig to cmake or even from YAML to kconfig? And what exactly should my device tree look like? A Christmas tree with all the hardware I need? I was able to find it all out. And last step, writing a driver for my SoC's GPIO seemed fairly easy after understanding the structures. And voila, I just did it. It blinked. I got to know the structures of the Zephyr project and how to port a board and succeeded. And of course, I also wanted to involve with the community. And that was when I realized all the knowledge is spread over each and every one of the community. And me as a fresh member, I partially started to believe in Socrates saying, I know that I only know, at least a little bit. And that all happened during my first station. In 2 more, I had the chance to get to know other aspects of the Zephyr project. My third assignment was at a project where barely no embedded code was there. There wasn't even like a structure how to develop inside the project's repository. And before, I always developed inside the Zephyr project structure. So here comes the next challenge, developing outside the Zephyr repository. And I was happy already having community contact also within our company. And with their help, I was able to discover that Zephyr's Swiss Army knife, known as West, is not only there to build and flash samples, but also to manage repositories. It handles a main repository, also known as the West Manifest. And in case of the project development, that is the project repository. And Zephyr is known to West as the Zephyr base. And all other repositories can be selected, for example, as submodules. And this all happens thanks to the West YAML file contained in all repositories. My final and invaluable experience was creating a pull request. And besides the thrills, there were so many lessons learned. First, I got the feeling, yay, I'm contributing. Now I'm an official part of the ecosystem. I got in contact with other developers, and they really did have good feedback. But imposter syndrome rather lets you feel like, oh no, I did some mistakes. And then there are some checks. Some of them failed. What should I do now? But the community helps you and supports you, and actually I could fix everything. And as you see, my pull request got merged. So what I learned, don't be shy and overcome your imposter syndrome. Carefully read the docs, especially the contributor guidelines, because most solutions can be found there. And of course, enjoy the process, because it's so great to contribute. At that point, I also need to send out big shout out to my whole team and the community, because it would have been really difficult to navigate through this journey without their help. I had so many lessons learned within my trainee program, and one of the most invaluable experiences was becoming part of the Zephyr community. So if you have any questions now, I'm happy to talk to you. Yes, there in front.
I think you mentioned when you started you hadn't really done any embedded systems development, right? When you started with
Yes.
ZEISS. Have you done anything since, or maybe you had some colleagues who have had other experience when Zephyr came in, like they had things that were different? Again, just wondering if your experience of comparing it to other ways of doing things.
So your question was like whether my colleagues did have already experience with Zephyr, or like whether I have done something similar to embedded software development before.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways of building embedded systems, right? I think most people here think Zephyr is quite a good way, but people, especially at ZEISS, would have been building things for a long time, and then Zephyr's kind of been brought in. Sometimes people maybe grumbling a little bit, or not happy. So I'm just interested how their support was, or how they felt about it, and whether you were exposed to any of the other ways that you might build these systems.
Yeah. So during my trainee program, it was not only Zephyr I learned about in the embedded field. We also did actually have other embedded software development before. So I think I was really coached well within the team, but also I think here 2 of my colleagues are in the room, and they supported me quite well. Yeah, so with Zephyr getting on board and everything, yeah. Yes, I think.
If you hadn't done embedded code before, did you learn about semaphores, threads, etc. through the Zephyr documentation or through other sources? Or?
No, actually, the question was about whether I learned about semaphores and similar things already before I had some lectures at my study program, like high performance computing, where semaphores and mutexes also did play like important roles. Yeah. Yes?
So on your first pull request, when did you notice the bot that posts a comment on your pull request saying, hey, congrats for submitting your first pull request to Zephyr? And if you did notice it, did you find it helpful or encouraging?
The question was about how like I felt when I submitted my first pull request and the first comments were coming in, or was it?
Yeah, so there's a bot. There's now a bot that recognizes when someone submits their very first pull request to Zephyr and posts a comment.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Giving them some pointer to things. So I'm wondering if you noticed that it was there.
Yeah, I noticed the bot that was there, and yeah, I was quite happy because like it's saying, yeah, you're contributing. Welcome to the Zephyr project, to your very first pull request. It was really excited, yeah, and also I think the maintainers quite responded really soon, so that was really helpful.
So Benjamin created that bot.
Shout out to Benjamin. Yeah. So I think we're running out of time. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm happy to be part of the community.